Hello, welcome to the Knitting Project. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family and my animals. Today is Sunday the 5th of February 2023 and this is episode 137. Welcome if you are a new viewer, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my podcast all about my crafting week. I've got a few purchases for you. I bought a few bits and pieces, not all of it's yarn. Not all of my craft is yarn. I have got some embroidery, I have got some journaling, and I have not got any crochet. I haven't got anything on crochet in the rotation at the moment, have I? Anyway, no crochet at the minute. So this is what we lovingly call my croffice. If you go that direction, it is my office. I have my computer and everything over that side, and that side is my yarn. So yeah, we kind of nicknamed it the croffice because I kept going, it's in the craffice. Whenever I was trying to talk about this room when I first got it, I couldn't decide whether to call it the craft room or the office, and it amalgamated itself into the croffice. So it's definitely a mixture of the two, although just at the moment I think rubbish tip would be a better description for it, because I really need to get in here and tidy up. So I think today, as well as recording a podcast and editing and doing some crafting, I need to do some tidying, because I think I might need to do my spreading it out over a week and designating areas for a day and just try and do it that way, because at the moment it looks like a bomb's dropped in here, so I apologise for any mess you can see that way or just behind me in general. Right, so shall we get into the rotation? The knitting project is the way I get through my whips. It is a rolling rotation of 6 days, and it's 6 days, not 7, so that the days of the week fall, or the days fall on different days of the week, because some days I'm busier than others. I'm going to try, if I can, with the help of my trusty craft journal, to explain a little bit about what happened this week with the knitting project, to put it a bit more into perspective. So day one is socks, and I did those yesterday, so yesterday was Saturday. And did I sneak, is day one, was that Sunday as well? Let's have a quick look. So day 5, day 6, that makes sense. Day 1, so it's the 29th, was the 29th last Sunday? Oh, goodness me, Sharon, come on, get it together. Yes, so there's obviously, because there's 7 days in a week, one project gets worked on twice before the podcast round comes around again. And this week it was my socks for me, which was by the Fire Socks. So that was the page for the 29th. And then there is a page for yesterday too, which is that page there. So it's got 2 pages in this week's journal, and because I've got to go work on them twice, I have a finished object. So confession time, these are not washed. They're just on the blockers, so I can show you. I will wash them and block them properly after I have finished, despite the fact I tried to put that on my, there we go. So that's that side. So they've got these lovely little bubbles at the top of the Christmas trees. And this is a pattern by Danny George, who has the Little Bobbins podcast. And was for it was her Christmas Eve pattern, my Christmas Eve cast on, and I used the Sugar Cookies sock set by Lay Family Yarn. I've been coveting this sock set ever since Kelly did it a couple of years ago, I think it was for a different one of Danny's patterns, and I didn't do it at that point, but I just loved these colours together, so I'm so glad I managed to get a set where I could use it, a pattern I could use a set for. I did use a different mini on the top. That's just one of my stash minis, which is a sparkle, because I wasn't convinced that the 10 grams was going to do both the cuffs. However, it would have done, because it took just just a tiny bit less than 10 grams. I think I would have been paying yarn chicken, so I'm kind of glad I did use 20. But there we go, there's that one. And this one. It's got this beautiful little cuff on the top, which you fold over and has got a rib underneath. And then the rest of it's kind of just plain knitting, so it was perfect over Christmas. And over Christmas I was desperately trying to get Ira's baby blanket finished, so I allowed myself to knit these Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and then I was like, no, I've got to finish that blanket, which I'm really glad I did because I only just made it before she joined us. So I have just finished my Christmas Eve cast on. But I love them. In hindsight, I wish I'd done a quantile toe, but you know, it's fine. I love them. I love them very much. So that was my day one socks. So getting 2 days on the knitting project gave me a finished object. So now we're on to day 2, which is baby knits. And I'll show you that page in a moment. So that's living in a So Amy bag, which I love. Oh, with a little sticker on from a little sleeping bag I bought for Ira. I don't know why that's attached to that, but okay, it is. And in here, talking of Ira, this is my baby knitting. So day 2 is baby knitting, and I'm currently making the baby life ring socks, which is a pattern by Cat Bordy. So that's the first one. So yeah, that way, because it kind of looks better that way. There we go. So they've got this fun kind of life ring detail up the leg, this little foot. This is the newborn size. I need to start making the net socks the next size up because she's going to be out of the newborn size. And then I got to that far on the second sock. It's a little mouse from So Sweet Violet. And the yarn is the Bottle Brush Christmas Tree set from Dandelion and Dogwood, and has a sparkle which I don't think you can see, but I love this. Kate really likes this yarn. She loves this colour. So this is a toe up sock, which is not my standard way of doing socks, but I love it, and it's a very clever construction. I think I said last week, if you haven't done toe up before, I suggest downloading this pattern because it's free from the Cat Bordy website and having a go, because she holds your hand and it's really easy to do, and obviously it's a baby sock. So that's the mini, and I'm doing mine on 2.5mm needles. So if I go to day 2, here we go. So this is day 2 baby. This was on Monday, and that's a photo of what the project looked before I started knitting on it. So I just had the one sock done at that point, and yeah, I got a fair amount done on that. I think Monday evening I did something with Meg and we ended up sitting at the table together and I ended up knitting loads. Oh, we watched the Meg, because I'd never seen it. Actually really enjoyed it. Meg's never impressed with that film. There's so many films that are kind of named after her, and she ends up with the nicknames at the end of it. So that's day 2, the baby life rings. Day 3 was a disaster. Day 3 is garment day, and at the moment I'm doing the Perec vest, and that's where I was when I started day 3. Now day 3 was a Tuesday. I am a guide leader. I did do guides that night. I also had an extremely silly busy day at work because it was the last day of the month. So I have I mean, I always have busy days at work, but the last day of the month and the first day of the month I'm really busy. So I under normal circumstances I wouldn't show this to you, but as I'm kind of using it as a point as to why I do my project like I do it, I am going to show it to you. So this is the breakfast. I love it. Can't wait to get it finished. It's really creased in this. It's not that creased in real life. So where are we? I have a little sheep somewhere on here. Okay, so that's where I was, and that's where I got to, which is a whole 1, 2, 3. I did 4 rows. That is all I got done on Tuesday. Now there are quite a lot of stitches on this, but it is just round and round knitting, so I should really be able to get far more than just 4 rows done in a day. It moves to Monday this week, so that's tomorrow, and then from next week it gets some weekend love, so I'm hoping that during that weekend love it's going to be finished. I don't want it too long. My thoughts were I'm going to try and run this one out, but in actual fact, looking at how much I'm getting out of it, I may not. I don't know. So that's a Lay Family Yarn Floof, and then that's Lay Family Yarns Lace Weight, and it's knit holding those 2 double. They're pretty. It's super soft, it's gorgeous, and oh, I can't wait to wear it. However, it's a little bit of a slog. So I've deviated from the pattern in as far as I've put the neckband on and the armbands on already. I often do this so that I know how much yarn I've got left, and I've got enough. I know I've got enough yarn to do these bits because that's happened before. But also, then I can just go round and round and round on the body, and then I know it's done. So when I get to the bottom of the body, it's a finished object, which is great. This is definitely going to need a block, isn't it? It's really creased, really creased. But yeah, like I said, I probably wouldn't normally have shown you my progress on that, but as I'm trying to show you a real-time explanation as to why I do the knitting project like I do, why do I not just knit on one project? Because then I would get it done. 2 reasons. Number one, I would get bored because I'm a squirrel and I like the variety. I like looking forward to each different thing each day. But number two, I do have quite bad arthritis in my hands, and I find if I knit all the same thing all the time, it plays up my arthritis. Although at the moment the knitting project is very top heavy with 2.5mm needles, so there is that, but that's 4.5mm needles I've done that on. So that is different, but obviously my socks and my baby knits are both on 2.5, so you know, there's that. So that's day 3. Oh, day 4 I need to find, so I'm going to pause you for a moment and I'll come back. Well, that was a bit like a game of dominoes. I picked one thing up and loads more fell over. So day 4 for me is gift knitting day at the moment, and that is so that was the 1st, that was Wednesday, and I did get a little bit done on this. So at the moment I'm doing, or I was, hint hint, doing the Scandinavian tree, which is an embroidery set from the Stationery from the 2020 advent, and that was my page for it. Now when you get 2 pictures, normally finishes means there's a finished object hanging around, so in this case there was. So that was my record for the day, and yes, I'd finished it. So I have pressed it, and that is what it looks like. I can't get the ring out of it, which is really annoying me at the moment, but I'm hoping the person I'm going to send it to is experienced enough to know how to do that, so I'm hoping she might do that for me. So this is very nearly ready to go. I've got a few more bits and pieces in the package to put together, and when I've put it all together then that will go off to her. But I'm very pleased with it. It's this beautiful just red and white piece. My stitching's not fantastic, but It's not awful. The back of it looks like that. I started filling in the back as well as the front, and then I realised that was kind of wasting thread, so I've gone back to not doing that for half of it. But that is the back. That's the front. So I'm really pleased I've got that finished. So that was the first thing. And I've did a new cast on. So I've also done a page for that in my craft book as well for the same date, so it's still the 1st of the 2nd, although I've gone through the whole of last week trying to write the something of the 3rd, rather than I was convinced it was March. So this is what I'm making as a gift knit now, and this is a pattern by Jules Hill, who is So Sweet Violet, and it's the Little Rabbits bag. There's a little picture of it at the bottom there. That's where I've printed off the front of the pattern, and that's hanging out in my lovely Elderflower Stitches bag. And I'm using this bag of minis to make it. So it's going to be a mixture of bright pops of colour and more subtle colours. And again, I'm using 2.5mm needles, and I have cast on the tiny little top. Didn't get very far with it. I think the longest bit of this was choosing what I was going to make for this particular person as a present, and I thought actually I would love to make this, and then I'm going to fill it with a few little treats for her. So this is for a birthday I've got coming up. And this is the pattern. So it's a sweet little bag. It's got a little pom-pom on it as well, which you make out of yarn. I haven't got any of the bouquet yarn, I don't think, hanging around, so I might have to buy a little miniature pom-pom to put on it. I might do that instead. But yeah, so the person I'm making this for likes a bright colour. She also likes subtler colours.
Sure about that.
Okay, Alexa got into the game there, and well, I know she likes it, so there you go. I'm thinking she's particularly going to like this colour here. So yeah, that's my little bag of beautiful bits, as Jules would say, that I have no idea, hand on heart, I have no idea why I've put all these bits into a bag, other than maybe it was when I was making crochet stars and I wanted to make some bright crochet stars, but I'm not sure there's enough brights in there for that. But anyway, it's going to make a perfect little bunny bag. So that's what I am doing now for gift day. So that's day 4. Let's go grab day 5. So day 5 would have been the 2nd, which was Thursday. So I did have brownies that day. I had a big working day, and then we went down the caravan in the evening, so probably unsurprising I didn't get much done here. So day 5 was this one. So this is my Socks for Charlie, and it's in Woolly Goodness Skating with Penguins. So that's where I was before I started, and I've got one finished, so that's what it's looking like. I'm going with, I haven't sewn my ends in on these yet, so I've got one sock done. As I said, this is Socks for Charlie Skating with Penguins, and then I managed to cast on, do the 1x1 twisted rib, and I'm into the main colour now. So I think when you saw this last, I just cast on. So I have actually managed to do the cuff and do a little bit of the leg, but I didn't get much done. It was a very busy Thursday. And as I said, this is why sometimes some days are just more successful than others. So my Socks for Charlie, she's supposed to have a pair of socks every month for the year of 2023, and I've already failed for January. The only reason I buy the fireside socks are finished is because I already had one done, just saying. Otherwise they wouldn't be finished. So that's my day 5. Oh, whipping through this coffee. This is my it was Kelly's and Jules's, what was it called? We made socks for a year knit along. Can't remember what it was called. Rainbow Chronicles, that's it. The Rainbow's Chronicles socks. That was the mug that went through it. I did manage to do one a month for that. So this was my winner's trophy at the end. I treated myself to the mug. Right, so day 6. I did make some progress on this one as well. So day 6 is Scrappy Project. And that's where I was when I started. That's a picture of me watching Paula there. And these are the 24 Day Socks by Potter and Bloom, which is from the collaboration Advent from Giddy Yarns, hanging out in my bobbin project bag. I did make some progress on this, but I do want to talk about this a little bit. Okay, so I'm finding my minis because I've put the little numbers on them now. So I think I showed you this, didn't I? So that's now got number 22 on it. So I know that this Fruitful Fusion one is number 22. So I'm putting them in order. And the main colour I'm using is a Giddy Yarns one that she dyed for me for my Christmas blanket because I wanted a particular silver. So she dyed me 2 skeins and I only needed 1. So I'm using it for these. And so I was there on that sock when you last saw this sock. So I'm making these pretty much concurrently. So I finished the whole of the heel turn and then I'm now finished the gusset decreases. Okay, let's show you that side because that side just doesn't want to cooperate. So I've finished the gusset decreases and I love how that's working out with the stripes. So yeah, so I finished the gusset decreases. Now because it's patterned on one half of it and obviously it's plain and you were decreasing, I found this was something I had to concentrate on. So I mean I'm watching Heartbeat at the moment, which is my normal kind of January February watch, so I can just listen to it and I know what's going on, but I found that I did really need to concentrate on these decreases. It's not so bad now because now I've done all the decreases. It's just remembering to do not pattern on that side needle and pattern on that needle, but it was because of the way I knit my socks. I had the gusset decreases on this bit, which was stocking stitch, then I had half a pattern, then I had the other half of the pattern, and then I had the gusset decreases again. So it required a little bit of brain power. It wasn't awkward or a problem or anything like that. It's just something I did need to concentrate on. I think I managed to. There is half a row, and I don't think I can see it, where I forgot to do a slip stitch. But it was only like half the row that was on a different needle. Oh no, I think when I went back I corrected it. I did. When I went back I dropped the stitch off and then corrected it because it was this, of course it was this really dark stripe, so you could notice it quite badly. So yeah, I just dropped it off the needle when I went back to knit the next one and then knit it from the grey stitch, so that worked okay. So that was that one, and then on this one, so I've done all the gusset decreases on this one. So then I moved to this one and I decided to torture myself and start again. So I'm now on the second colour of the gusset decreases on this one, so I can show you on this actually a little bit better what I was talking about. So that one, that half of that needle, has got the pattern on it. Then I've got my little stitch marker, which is where I decrease, and then I've got that half which is just plain stocking stitch but has either got the decrease or hasn't got the decrease depending which round I'm on, and then I've got that half which is again got the decrease on it, and that half which is pattern. And the way it's working out is that, because I knit them that way around, one of the decreases is in the grey yarn and one of the decreases is in the coloured yarn each time, so it's just the way it works. But it's just like, I need to think, I really need to think. So once I've got these the decreases done, it'll be simple again. But yeah, I did find the challenge again is the wrong word, just you needed to be focused. Wasn't car knitting. Need a little bit of focus on it. So this was, what day was this? This was Saturday, I think, the 3rd. That was Friday. So I was at the caravan and able to sit and just concentrate on this, which was lovely. I mean, this is going to be Thursday next week, which is my brownie week and working, so I don't anticipate an awful lot of progress will be made on this. If I get to the end of the decreases on this sock, that will be a miracle. Be a nice place to be, but it'll be a miracle. But yeah, you can't always be in the caravan doing your knitting, can you, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to. But so that's, anyway, that's my socks, that's where I've got to. So on this sock I had got to there, and as I said, I've just started the decreases. I have dropped my yarn on the floor. Oh dear. So hopefully I'll have some progress on them next week, but I'm really looking forward to this little lot. Oh dear. So that was my day 6. It's living in my robin bag from Craft House Magic. There we go. So yeah, that's day 6. So that's the end of the rotation. My square a day is currently a line a day, well 2 lines a day in actual fact, and is living in my sheepy bag from, this, my lovely friend Kelly got this for me, and I forgot to take it away with me. It got left behind, so I haven't got as much progress on this as I would like to have done. I literally forgot it on Thursday. Ian, I mean, we weren't that very far away, and Ian was very sweet and said, "Oh, do you want to come back for it?" And I was like, "No, it's okay. I needed to work on my goose egg quilt anyway," which I will talk about in a minute. So this is as far as I got, which is not as far as normal. So this is a habitation throw by Curious Handmade, and I'm using Woolly Goodness 5-gram minis for this, which I love. So pretty. And this is from back in 2021, so I am finally getting through some of my stash. And that's where I was. So yeah, sadly I have not made much progress on this at all. In fact, by the looks of it, I haven't even changed from the mini from last time. So that is a bit sad, but I wasn't going to come back for it. And I'm loving knitting it, so it's not like I'm desperate to get it finished. It is very pretty. Oh, it's so squidgy. I love garter stitch, and I love garter stitch on this gauge, which I think I'm on, yeah, it's 4.5mm needles I've used for this on a fingering weight, and it's just so squidgy. Oh, it's lovely. I do love this. Let me put this back in its needle cozy so it doesn't go wandering off its stitches. The only good thing about getting that done will be it'll be quite a few grams out of my stash on my grams out page. Oh. So my entry for my throw I've got 2 entries to show you. So I coincidentally, that's the goose egg, finished my grid for on the 1st of Feb. So I left it there, and I've put myself a new grid in. So I went further in the book. So I put the first back in there as well. That's the progress it was at this point when I started this time. And then this is the whole, because I've split this into 4. Not very evenly as it turned out, but hey. That's 28, so that should last me, that page should last me for the whole of February. And the idea is I'm writing down the date and the number of rows I did, so I can see my progress. So yeah, that's my page, my entries for that. And how am I doing time wise? I'm okay for a minute. My Goose egg quilt. Right, so this is the last knitty thing that I've actually made. So this is hanging out in an Elderflower Stitches bag. Now this is the Goose Egg Quilt by Danny George of Little Bobbins, in collaboration with Kelly from Lay Family Yarn. And Danny's written the pattern and Kelly's done a yarn for it, and it's this beautiful green, this lovely yellow. I think the pack's called Crocus, if I remember rightly. No, it's just called Club Month 1. I think I called it Crocus. I think I may have made that up myself. And then this beautiful purple. Now, last week I said that I'd had an issue with my edges being too tight. Well, lovely Teresa and Kelly both reached out to me and went, yeah, you've done it wrong. They haven't. They were so sweet. They were so subtle about it. But basically, I've done it wrong. I've done this triangle's incorrect. I didn't do enough rows in between the decreases, and that is entirely what is the problem. Can I just say, clear as a bell in the pattern, I just didn't read the pattern. I've also then not read the pattern twice now. So now I'm very much more focused on reading the pattern and not trying to get ahead of myself. So I am unpicking this as I go along and knitting it into another one. So we've started again. We have now done 3. I have much bigger green triangles, and so I've done triangle 1, triangle 2 and triangle 3. And yeah, it's going much better, much better. Now the next one that I join in is a purple, but I'm not going to be able to get the purple out of there just yet, so I'm just going to use the purple yarn until I can actually get the purple out, and that's how I'm going to go on. The next one I'll be able to get out is a yellow, so it's going to take me a little while to get the rest of this out, but it's not a problem. I've got plenty of yarn to be going on with. But what an idiot, honestly. But thank you very much to Kelly and Teresa for reaching out, telling me where I was going wrong so nicely. And I've started again. Half of me was like, do I really want to start again? But I'm like, yes, I do. I don't want this to beat me. I like this. I love the next set. I just want to get this done. So my idea is I'm trying to do a triangle a day, which is not going to work because the triangles are too big. So even if I can just do a few rows on it a day, that would be enough. So my Goose Egg Quilt entry. Oh dear. Where is it? Here we go. I have started again halfway down the page. I've written a note saying that I've found out that I'm doing it wrong, and I've started again. So I'm writing in the dates I'm working on it and kind of how much I've done. And yeah, we start again. I'm just so grateful that someone pointed out to me what I was doing wrong. Otherwise I think I'd have just carried on doing it, and that would have been a disaster. I'm using 2.5mm straights for this. These are signature needles, and I love it. I just need to concentrate and get it right. So that's the goose egg. So that is the end of the knitting project. My journal, actually, funnily enough, is my crafting journal, and the only one thing I wanted to show you was actually, shall I? Just trying to think if I've got time to do it. I don't think I've got time to do an overhead now. I'll just show it to you. So this is a Tilly Flop journal, which I love. It's a project planner, and I've used it. I use it daily, basically. And when this one's full, I'll just get another one, or use one of the 9 million ones I've got over there that I've bought and now don't want to use. So I've got project. Oh, I got cut off there. So yeah, I've got, I write the day, the project. So I do this daily. That's my stash in, stash out. Guess which one's the longer column? That was my Woolly Goodness blanket. Again, another project there. You get the idea. That day I did a different craft, so I put pictures of that in. I want to do some yarn dyeing at some point. I'll put that in. So this is what I wanted to show you. So this habit tracker, it's a free download from mycuprunsover.ca. If you sign up for the newsletter, and you get quite a few of them. There's not just this, there's like, I think there's 6 different ones. So I've got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, Woolly Goodness blanket, goose egg quilt, and then that's showing you how much I've worked on it. So obviously this bit's blank because I hadn't at that point started it, so that's only from there. This bit is stash in, and that's podcast, and then my monthly goals, which is record a podcast, fill in this tracker. So that's the end of January, and I liked it so much. I have, okay guys, I loved these stickers. I've stuck them on a page. Any idea what I should do with them? Because at the moment they're just sitting there blank. I mean, I was thinking I could just sort of fill them in with something, but I'm not too sure what to fill them in with. Anyway, ideas please. So if I've finished an object, like I finished the gingerbread socks, I put a little bit of the yarn in for that page, just on the spiral bound bit. That's my advents so far this year. I've already got an Elderflower Stitches one, but I figured if I actually wrote them all down, I might not buy 3 million of them, because I won't actually realise just how many I've got. It's interesting when you're flicking through and looking at the photos to see the progress each time when you pick it up. It's also interesting to see how many times Demi appears in this. So I downloaded the tracker again. I've got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, Woolly Goodness blanket and goose egg quilt, and then that's what I've been working on. So I'm filling that in. I've got stash in, FOs, record podcast, and other YouTube, which I know I keep promising I'm going to do a surprise video. At some point I will get round to it. Oh, I did have every intention of recording that this Thursday, and it just went out the window. So monthly goals, fill this in, record podcast, and record the other thing that I was, it says record 12 days. I'm not sure whether you'll know what that is, but that's what I want to do. So yeah, I'm going to fill this in for the month, because I think it'd be interesting to see how often I've worked on things. And I think, other than you've seen the new Woolly Goodness blanket page, and so that was yesterday's page. So socks for me, that's where I started. And I've got FO, and I've put some of the yarns of each of the colour on the top there, because I finished it. And then that page, which is blank, I will be using to fill in the baby socks for today, because I will be knitting those. Did I knit anything last night? I need the Goose egg quilt, so that goes on a different page. And so I also need to choose another half finished object that I've got of my many socks for next week, but I'll do that during the week and you will see that next week. So that's the journal I was talking about this week. So again, it's my crafting journal. I love filling that in each day, and I love seeing the progress, and it really helps with the podcast. Right, so you know what's up next, don't you? It's this little pile of stuff I've got here. So let me put you over there. Right, I think I'm just going to have to go for this because, to be honest, it's just one big pile. So here we go. I've got a few bits and pieces. This was such a pretty package. I opened it, I was like, oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. It's got this beautiful card that says thank you Sharon on the back from Anna. And then this beautiful, can you see that? And I mean, this is amazing attention to detail, because what I actually bought was some floral washi tape. That's all that's in there. But I loved this. I really wanted some pretty delicate floral washi tape for my crafting journal, which I've probably put away. But it was inspired by, there we go, that piece of washi tape there, which is underneath my project, so I can remember which days of the week are which. And that was on a package from Jules of So Sweet Violet. I just loved it so much. I thought it was so springy and pretty, so I went searching and I managed to come up with some of that, which I love. And of course, because when you go down a washi tape rabbit hole, you find others. And this is Cannabis Crafts, and I've got that one, which is a bit slightly subtler floral one. This one, which is very subtle. I like this one a lot. It's very pretty. So it's the same as what's on the box, but and then this I thought was really good fun, and I think I could decorate most of my project pages with that. Just some bunting. I was like, oh, I like that. I can imagine that in there. So a lot of that I'm going to spend time just playing with my craft diary and just adding some washi tape in. Right, next up, and you have to see these through the plastic because I haven't opened them yet. I bought 2 new binders. Do you remember last week we were talking about it? So one of these is for patterns that I've printed out that I'm not using, so it's not my working binder. And the other one, I haven't got a clue what I bought it for. So I bought, actually I'll show you the back of these, you can see these better, can't you? So that's the back of that one, so that's what the design is on that one. And then that's what the design is on that one. At the time, I was like, oh right, so I'm going to put patterns that I haven't yet used into that one. Oh, I wonder if that's what it was. Patterns I haven't knit in this one, patterns that I have knit in this one. I mean, if not, that actually is a good idea, so maybe we will do that. But I definitely had a reason for buying the second one at the time. I don't know what it was. They are just on Amazon. There is a link below my last week's video if you want to check that out in the comments, because somebody asked me. I have got 2 packages from So Raimi, because I ordered things at different times. And the first one, I've got a date stamp where you can put in the year and then like circle the day and stuff, which I thought would be really helpful in my work journal, which I can't show you for obvious reasons. It's my work journal, so that's going to be useful, save me having to write that out every time. So really pleased with that, because my work journal is an undated journal. Again, I've got some date stickers. Again, I can use that and just stamp it, which I think will be a lot easier. And for my work journal, I have got, I desperately needed these, Monday, Tuesday because again, I can't be bothered to keep writing it all out every time, so I can stick it in. And I'll have a day like at the beginning of the month where I will set up the month and do all the stamping and do all the sticking, so it's all done. But yeah, so I'll probably do that Monday actually now for my work journal, because it drives me nuts having to write it in every day. But also I wanted an undated one because I started it in the middle of January, so I didn't really want it all dated and out of sync. Okay, that can stay on the floor. Oh, that's cute. They got hot air balloons on it. I found these stamps and thought you might be able to use this in your journals. Definitely. Thank you very much. So that's from Rachel, so Amy. And can you see the hot air balloons? I shall use those on days when we go ballooning. That's exciting. Ooh. I'll keep that in my journaling bag because then it will stay together. And then I also got a few other bits and pieces on the same theme of what we were just talking about. So I've got a Monday to Friday stamp set, so I can stamp it if I would prefer to. I'm thinking of more, yeah, I'd like to use this in my personal journal. And a month one, which is really lovely. So again, there's stamps, and I've got a lovely ephemera pack, which I need for my journal because my personal journal, which I haven't got with me right now, I've run out of the ephemera that I was sticking in there. So the fact I now have some more is really useful, so I can finish February. Because February, I think I got to the 4th and now I need to stick in more bits. So that's what I got in there. Right, let's do the big thing next. The big bag of yarn. Don't get excited. I mean, it is exciting. It is a big bag of yarn, and that's the hint as to what I'm making with it. I am making the Wintersole by Jennifer Steinglass, and because I cannot afford indie dyed yarn for a sweater for me, I have bought some of this, which is Sirdar Country Classic. It's very soft but slightly rustic, which I know sounds really weird, so I'm hoping it's quite grippy, so it might be work for colour work. I will let you know. You can come on this journey with me. I bought that colour for the body, that colour for the dark contrast, and that colour for the light contrast. So, oh, I love that. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. So if I just hold this up again, so that will be the green, then that dark brown there will be the brown, and then the lighter colour will be the pink. We'll see how we get on. So that's waiting for me when my garment day rolls around, and I have actually finished my Perec, although I want to finish my Whitmore that I'm making as well, the Whitmore with the minis, with the dandelion and dogwood minis. I want to get that finished, and I want to go down there. I think that's it. I think that's all I've got garment wise. I feel like there's another garment hanging around somewhere, but I think it's just that. So the whole lot cost me £53.91, which is still a lot of money for a jumper, isn't it? But if I'd been in indie dyed yarn, I think it'd been up in the 300s, if I'm honest. And the colours I've used are Melba, which is the pink, which is 658, Fern, which is the green, which is 672, and Chestnut, which is the brown, which is 679. I did manage to get a 10% discount on it as well. If you search Wool Warehouse, Google Wool Warehouse discounts, you can often pick up a discount code, and I did. So we'll see how it works up. It's a DK, I think. No, it's worsted. Sorry, it's worsted. So I'm hoping it's going to be quite quick. But we will see. I have got to put that little lot in my stash in though. And we'll see. That's a rough estimate as to how much I need. I've gone on yardage, so we will see. Right, what have we got in here? I wanted to talk about this. So this is a pouch from Jilly Makes. I don't know if she still makes these, because I lost this and couldn't find it, and I found it the other day. And although obviously you can use it for crafting, very much so, I have got, normally my mobile sits in there. I have my mobile in there. I've got a pen, and then in here I've got my work mobile and a notebook, and then in there I've got my work dongle for the bank account. I've got my headphones, I've got an iPhone lead. I think I've got my, I've got my AirPods in their little knitted sock that I made for it, and in there, and then I've got nothing in that bit at the moment, and then I've got knitting supplies in here. I've got stitch markers, tape measure, and there's a pair of scissors and a needle, just if I need it. And that is now being carried around with me everywhere I go, with all my bits in it. And I really like it. It's certainly better than just keeping them loose in my handbag. So I've got my little pouch. And as I said, that is Jilly Makes. I had a look, she's got nothing in her shop at the moment. But keep an eye on her Instagram account because she does post. Right, so what have we got in here? I have got some ribbon, little pink velvet ribbon to make more of the decorations, because I want to make some birthday ones. Well, not birthday ones, but summer ones. And I've got some really lovely summer flower stamps somewhere. Not sure where, in this room somewhere. I need to find them. And it occurred to me, if I stamp those on them and pop some sort of spring ribbon through it, so I've got this lovely pink, they'd make really good tags on birthday presents. And as I said, I have a birthday coming up, so I'm really planning on doing that. Now hopefully next weekend I'll get some time to play with the clay. You never know your luck. So yeah, that was, and I just got this off of eBay. Kate Raspberry, it's called Kate Raspberry. Now, yarn in this week. I got this is called Birthday Cake. It is from The Lonely Knitter, and it was her Waltham Abbey Wool Show colourway, which I fell in love with and sadly couldn't go. So I asked her if I could grab a skein from her. So pretty, look at all these speckles. I just want to cast on a pair of plain socks in this and just knit away for the summer because I think it's beautiful. So yeah, I have definite plans for this skein of yarn. Then also, I think I said to you last week that Jenny of Woolly Goodness was having a sale, and I've managed to snag a few bits and pieces. So the first one is a self-striping sock set, which this is Meadow, so it's a lovely spring colour. You can tell I'm getting into my comfort zone, can't you? I am having problems with lighting now. I knew this would happen. I'm a little bit later and the lighting's going because the sun is, it's going to sound really bizarre, but because the sun is coming round, it's throwing me into shadow, annoyingly. So yeah, I'm actually getting shadowed now. But anyway, going back to this, it's got this beautiful pink mini, and then these beautiful colours, these greens, and then there's a sort of a teal colour in there, and the pink, and oh, so pretty. So spring socks, I'm all about the spring colours. I'm all about spring. I love spring. It's my favourite season. It just makes me happy. I know it's sad for those people that love autumn and winter, because you're kind of going into your least favourite seasons, but how you feel going into autumn, I feel going into spring. I love spring and summer. My tree is not in blossom yet though. I'm amazed it's still not in blossom. Normally by now it's almost kind of getting rid of its blossom, so really late this year. Anyway, so as I said, got it in her sale. Go check her out. She's got a few bits and pieces, or had got a few bits and pieces in her sale. And this was the other one, which I really loved. And this, again, is on Deluxe Silver Sparkle. And it's called Winter Wonderland. And oh my goodness, so pretty. I love it so much. I mean, blues. Love blues. It's beautiful. It's super soft as well. I do love her sparkle base. It's the same base as I'm making my Habitations row in. Oh, it's just so lovely. Oh, could do. Make a cowl out of it. I love it. So I think that's it. I think that's the last thing. I think my basket is now empty. Goodness, that was a bumper week, wasn't it? My goodness me. That was a lot to show you. I've got to put all this away now. It's the only problem with podcasting. I don't have to put it all away. But it does mean I get to use it, which, where as far as those binders are concerned, would be quite useful. Right, so we've done all of that. I did make some very quick project notes. Other crafts. I've got English paper piecing. I want to do some English paper piecing. I bought some thread to do some English paper piecing. I don't know where that's gone actually, thinking on. I feel I put that somewhere safe. Because again, that's part of a present I want to make someone. So that's probably going to go into day 4 at some point in the not too far distant future. And then the only other things I've got to talk about are events. I'm going to Unravel on the 24th and 26th of February. That is booked. I'm going on the 24th with my lovely friend Sally, and on the 26th with my daughters Kate and Megan and Ira. So if you are lucky enough to be able to go to Unravel on the Sunday, you can come say hi and you'll get to see Ira. There will be some footage at the end of this. It's vlog footage. I think there's a few like day-to-day bits and pieces. There may be, there may not be. There might be some Raven footage. There may be some caravan footage, but there is definitely some Ian flying in Italy footage, because he sent that across to me during the week. He was away last weekend in Italy and he was flying, and he has got some footage of that, so I will put that on towards the end. Otherwise, do you know what, you get to this point where I'm chatting about life. I mean, so obviously I've covered some life stuff as we've been chatting through anyway, because that's the way the knitting project works. But my life at the moment is just work. And if I'm not working, I'm trying to sneak in some crafting or doing a little bit of journaling. So you've pretty much seen my week. Charlie and Reese are still waiting to hear about their house. They're still waiting to hear about me. Goodness me, that was another half hour. That's scary. We will be getting an estate agent round this week to sort out our house. Hopefully it's going to go on the market, well, probably by the end of the week, if I'm honest. As long as we're not too worried about what the photos look like. And then we're looking at places. We have actually seen somewhere we quite like. Well, I've seen somewhere I quite like. I sent it to Ian and he was like, yeah, that will do. It's like, a little bit more enthusiasm, please. But yeah, so we'll be house hunting. So I'm assuming that when we get to the point where this place is sold and we're buying the new place, my schedule might get a bit off because I'll be needing to use my weekends to pack stuff. But we're not there yet, so I have no reason not to record next weekend. I've got nothing on, so hopefully next Sunday I will be sitting here recording again. I'm being able to do it during the week, it's just not happening now because work's so busy. And if I'm not working, I'm trying to do my journals and to get sort of ahead of the day, which So I used to record in the morning before I started work, which worked fine. It was brilliant. So I'd record in the morning before I started work, then I'd do work, and then I'd edit in the evening after I finished work, which is why I used to record on a Monday. But since work has got so busy, I'm often on my phone answering emails and messages before I start work, and I often don't finish till really late. So for instance, tomorrow, and this is not work's fault, I've got to take Meg to the fracture clinic in the morning, and we're not back till lunchtime, and then I have to do my 4 hours, so I probably won't finish till 7 tomorrow, so it's not going to work tomorrow. But never mind, Sundays do work. So I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go and have a bath and wash my hair because I really need to do that, hence why it's sort of in a kind of really messy plait. Then once I've done that, that's off my list of things I need to do. I can come down and I can edit and tidy at the same time, and then that'll be done, and then I've got to cook dinner, and that'll be today. That'll be Sunday gone. It'll be that quick. What am I knitting today? Baby knits. I might get the jelly roll finished if you're lucky. I've only got to do a little bit of leg, and then I've got to decide what I'm going to knit next. Anybody see the Stitched by Mrs. D podcast and the beautiful little baby cardigan that she knitted? Yeah, well, I downloaded that this morning. I've also got a load of baby jumper patterns that I've downloaded, so I need to decide what I'm going to knit next for her, because I'm kind of bored of baby socks, if I'm honest. I mean, I've got 2 more minis to go on that set, but I think I'm done. Anyway, I'm going to go and have that bath and get myself organised and then tidy up. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I'll see you next week.